Imposter syndrome. We've all gone through it. I've gone through it. Sometimes I think I'm not queer enough, or I'm not neurodiverse enough. But then the first thing I do after my trials ended is to do an in-depth analysis of a film released 36 years ago, full of queer connotations, subtext, and whose full soundtrack and official sheet music has never been released. So, yeah, definitely neurodivergent and queer. Hi, I'm Percy Chu, and this is why the music in Dead Poets Society is so good. Yes, it's the Dies Irae. There are numerous videos on YouTube talking about why Dead Poets Society is a masterpiece, be it the acting, the message, the symbolism, the queer implications, everything. But one thing no one's talked about yet is the music. I get it. There's only 90 minutes of music in the entire 2-hour film. That's not a lot of music. But the music that is in there is utilized just as masterfully as all the other aspects of the film. With that being said, please enjoy some brand new Dead Poets Society content in the ripe year of 2025. Just a disclaimer before we begin. As mentioned, the full soundtrack and official sheet music have never been released. All the annotations I will be showing are done by myself by ear, so it may not be 100% accurate. I'm autistic, not a robot. And thank God for that. The first instance of any music we hear in the entire film is this.
Banners up.
Scotland the Brave is such a patriotic song, it has become Scotland's unofficial national anthem. Now, even though America is infamously known for their lack of geographical knowledge, that is not one of the reasons why Scotland the Brave was chosen to be the song that started the new school year for the boys, and why it was the first song that the audience heard in this film. Scotland the Brave is usually used during military ceremonies, brandishing its typical characteristics of a march. It is in duple time, which imitates the tramping of feet. It is also rhythmically straightforward, with every beat emphasized by a note. You can easily tap your foot, clap, or simply count along with it. Scotland the Brave also utilizes dotted rhythms. Dotted rhythms are traditionally associated with royalty and pomp, due to its historical connection with the grandeur and formal French overtures played during royal ceremonies. These typical characteristics of a march emphasizes its patriotism. It engulfs the audience with a sense of orthodoxness and pretentiousness.
This is why we are the best preparatory school in the United States.
It perfectly communicates the rigid ambience we're going to be thrown into for the next 2 hours, and the fervent dedication to the 4 pillars.
Gentlemen, what are the 4 pillars?
Travesty, horror, decadence, excrement.
At this point, it goes without saying that Dead Poets Society is queer.
I can take care of myself just fine, all right?
No.
I mean, no.
No.
So queer.
Holy shit!
But did you know that the music actually proves that some of the characters are queer? The next instance we hear music in this film, after Scotland the Brave, is the angelic whistling by the late great Robin Williams. When we first step into Mr. Keating's classroom,
Well, come on.
And when the boys are trying to catch his attention on the oval.
Sir? Say something. Oh, Captain, my captain?
Gentlemen.
In both scenes, Mr. Keating is whistling the tune of Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Now, this may be but a minuscule detail, but why Tchaikovsky, of all composers? If rebelling against oppressors and not conforming to the rigid status quo is the only thing Dead Poets Society wanted to highlight, surely the more suitable choice would be Shostakovich. Let me read you an excerpt from the autobiography of Tchaikovsky's brother, Modest. Women were never the object of Tchaikovsky's infatuations. Physically, they aroused in him only indifference. In a word, gay. And to have Mr. Keating whistle Tchaikovsky? In a heteronormative status quo, where nonconformity was actively discouraged. To have him say this.
And we all have a great need for acceptance. But you must trust that your beliefs are unique, your own, even though others may think them odd or unpopular, even though the herd may go, that's bad.
What? The man was gay.
I saw gay, so I said gay.
But let's not forget our extraordinary saxophone player, the one, the only, Charlie Dalton, physical embodiment of bipolar, bisexual, bitch. Let's have a listen to their iconic sax solo. Charlie ends their solo with a dramatic chromatic modulation. The key changes from F major to B flat major. They also choose to use a tritone in their solo. A tritone is an interval consisting of 3 whole steps, or 6 semitones. By using a tritone, any tendency for a tonality to emerge may be avoided. The use of tritone suggests that Charlie doesn't like to be molded into a traditional scaffold of who they're supposed to be. Instead, they want to express who they are.
What the hell's wrong with expressing yourself? Being you want to be how you join it?
And to find their own way.
I gotta go my own way.
Charlie also ends their solo with a leading tone. A leading tone is the major 7th of a scale. It strongly pulls the ear towards the tonic, leaving the audience to crave for a sense of resolution and completion. Here is one of the few examples I could find of songs ending with leading tone.
A love that should have lasted years.
The fact that Charlie plays a trill on the leading tone suggests that they desperately want to end on a tonic, but for some reason they just couldn't, leaving them to believe that they gotta do more, gotta be more.
Gotta do more, gotta be more!
Is it a stretch? Yeah. Did Gail Hansen say he was 100% on board with Charlie being non-binary? And what he says goes, because, you know, he literally is the actor for Charlie. Also, yes. So. We simply cannot talk about Dead Poets Society without talking about the iconic Carpe Diem.
Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. Carpe diem!
Now, there's actually a musical motif for Carpe Diem. It goes like this. first time we hear the Carpe Diem motif, played by a harp solo, is when Knox heads over to the Danburys for the first time.
Ready, Overstreet?
Ready to go, sir.
I'll get it!
The motif is played because he seizes the day by stepping out of his comfort zone and meeting new people, not throwing away his opportunity to get away from Helton and meeting a girl in the process. The second time we hear this motif, also with a harp solo, is when Knox goes to visit Chris again. I guess he was seizing the day by stalking a girl who has absolutely zero interest in him. Side note, seizing the day does not mean kissing people without their consent. Unconscious people do not want tea. The third time we hear the Carpe Diem motif, also played by a harp solo, is during the flying desk scene.
Huh? Hey.
Hey,
What's going on?
nothing. Today's my birthday.
Is today your birthday? Happy birthday.
Thanks.
What'd you get?
My parents gave me this.
Isn't this the same desk?
Yeah, they gave me the same thing as last year.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe they thought you needed another one.
Neal and Todd are seizing the day by actively eliminating the things that upset them, and choosing to focus on the good things in life. There is more music after the motif plays, and I'll go back to that after we finish analyzing the Carpe Diem motif. The fourth time this motif comes up, it is no longer a harp solo. Instead, the melodic line is played by the flute, with the harp and violin as the accompaniments. This time, the motif is underscoring Todd's yob after Neal's death. Multiple instruments are used, as this time, Neal's Carpe Diem no longer only affects himself, it also affects others. The fifth and final time we hear this motif is after Todd's outburst, with Mr. Nolan yelling at Mr. Keating to leave.
I said leave, Mr. Keating.
At this point, we hear the Carpe Diem motif by a harp solo again. The music actually spoils the ending a bit. Up until this point, every single instance of the Carpe Diem motif we hear has been used to highlight how the characters are seizing the day. When we hear the familiar motif, we know that the boys aren't going to throw away their shots. They're going to do what is right and seize the day. When Todd stands on the table, We get a hammered dulcimer playing the melody.
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson.
Its timbre is strong and firm compared to that of the harps, as if Todd had been hesitating and pondering what to do. When he steps on the table and calls out,
Captain, my captain.
he has made a decision, and is unafraid to stand firm and follow through with his decision. The timpani and strings also serve to thicken the layers, creating a strong homophonic texture, as opposed to the soft monophonic texture of the harp solo. The melody is then doubled in a lower octave when Knox stands on the table.
How dare you? Do you hear me?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Mr. Overstreet, I warn you. Sit down.
And doubled in a higher octave when Pitts follows suit.
Sit down. Sit down. All of you. I want you seated. Sit down. Leave, Mr. Keating.
To this point, the melodic line has been plucked. Before we get to the elegant dramatic melodic line played by bowed strings, there's a small little change in the melodic line. At the end of the phrase, the note actually drops to a diminished leading tone, a minor seventh.
Sit down. Sit down. All of you. I want you seated. Sit down. Leave, Mr. Keating.
Instead of going from the tonic to the median like we've heard before. The use of the mixolydian mode adds just a twinge of melancholy, and a downright bittersweet feeling washes over us. The bold legato strings further strengthen the firmness of the melodic line.
All of you. Down. I want you seated. Do you hear me?
Then we have the woodwinds taking over the melody,
Sit down.
followed by the brass. We then place the counter melody as the strings once again take over the melodic line, creating a polyphonic texture.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
We then get a dramatic modulation of the chromatic median, and scene. The Carpe Diem motif has been used throughout the film to musically represent the boys seizing the day. It starts with a harp solo, as there has always been only one boy, usually Knox. But when most of the class stands up, the whole orchestra plays to demonstrate the vast significance Mr. Keating had on each and every one of them. How they've all heeded his guidance in truly embodying Carpe Diem. I know I said we'd go back to the rooftop scene, and we will, but there's another motif I'd like to talk about first. The Neal motif. It goes like this. The only time we hear this motif played is during Neal's play.
Whether I mistake your shape or making quite, or else you are that shrewd and knavish sprite called Robin Goodfellow.
Thou speakst aright. What room, Fairy? Here comes Oberon.
And here my mistress, would that you were gone.
Now, the reason for me bringing up the Neal motif is that together with the Carpe Diem motif, they make the music for the rooftop scene. This scene is permanently burned into my retinas. Not because they're cute, they are. But transcribing music that is deliberately soft, so as not to draw the attention away from the character's conversation, is a new circle of hell. Anyway, let's have a listen.
Maybe they weren't thinking about anything at all. The funny thing is about this is, I didn't even like it the first time.
Todd, I think you're underestimating the value of this desk set. I mean, who would want a football or a baseball?
Or a car.
Or a car, if they could have a desk set as wonderful as this one. I mean, if I were ever going to buy a desk set twice, I would probably buy this one both times. In fact, the shape is... It's rather aerodynamic, isn't it? You can feel it. This desk set wants to fly. Todd? The world's first unmanned flying desk set. Oh my!
Like I said, the music to this is actually just the Carpe Diem motif and the Neal motif mashed up. Here it is again with my annotations.
Maybe they weren't thinking about anything at all. The funny thing is about this is, I didn't even like it the first time.
Todd, I think you're underestimating the value of this desk set. I mean, who would want a football or a baseball?
Or a car.
Or a car, if they could have a desk set as wonderful as this one. I mean, if I were ever going to buy a desk set twice, I would probably buy this one both times. In fact, the shape is... It's rather aerodynamic, isn't it? You can feel it. This desk set wants to fly. Todd? The world's first unmanned flying desk set. Oh my!
Fun fact, did you know that the music for the Rooftop Scene actually used the lick?
They're estimating the value of this desk set. I mean, who would want a football or a baseball?
Or a car.
Or a car, if they could have a desk set as wonderful as this one. I mean, if I were ever going to buy a desk set twice, I would probably buy this one.
Pretty cool, right? Right? Another thing I'd really like to talk about is one of the musical leitmotifs used in Dead Poets Society. One of my absolute favorite things about film music is the leitmotifs. The seemingly arbitrary recurring phrases suddenly making sense when put into that one scene. There is a particular leitmotif in Dead Poets Society that may seem insignificant, but actually helps the storytelling a lot. The leitmotif consists of 3 descending notes in a stepwise motion, with the median climbing down to the tonic, with a major third interval. The most notable uses of this leitmotif are in the first section of the To the Cave motif, when Neal first opens 5 Centuries of Furs. And in Neal's death scene. In the first scene, the 3-note leitmotif is used to signify the beginning of a journey, Neal's very first Dead Poets meeting. Here, Neal is a bit hesitant and wary, as if mentally calculating whether the book could be a trap. In Neal's death scene, we hear the same 3-note leitmotif again. This time, his hesitance and wariness is no longer about something as trivial as a trap planted by a teacher. It is quite literally life or death. Last but not least, the reason you've all clicked onto this video, the Dies Irae. For those of you who don't know what the Dies Irae is, please enjoy this extremely clarifying and detailed explanation from one of my favorite YouTubers, Sideways. By the way, Sideways is one of the YouTubers that actually inspired me to make this video, so.
But okay, if you don't know what the Dies Irae is, and don't worry, here's the TLDR. Once upon a time, there was this guy called Jesus, and he died. But there were a bunch of people who really liked Jesus, and they would sing songs to him even though he was dead. And one of these songs was called the Dies Irae, which translates to the Day of Wrath. And it was all about how Jesus loves everybody so much that one day he's going to come back to Earth and kill everyone in order to have the world's greatest slumber party. But only half of everybody gets invited, the other half gets permanent detention. Cut forward about 1,500 years, and this alpha stoner by the name of Hector Berlioz wrote a symphony that told the story of this artist who was also a stoner and loved this girl, but she didn't know he existed, and then he died and went to hell, because of course he did. But in that symphony, in order to communicate that that main character had died, Berlioz used the Dies Irae. And ever since then, composers have used this melody to represent death in music, and that has been no more apparent than in film.
The Dies Irae is used very prominently in the 3rd section of To the Cave, where the boys are heading out into the woods to have their first meeting. The moment the boys are truly off campus, free from the binding restraints, we hear the music screaming Dies Irae in our faces. 'Cause, you know, Dead Poet Society? In this section, the melody is literally just repetitions of the Dies Irae. There's no new notes or inversions added, it's just Dies Irae. It's also it really interesting that this is the only time in the film where we hear the Dies Irae motif? Possibly because for some, true freedom can only be achieved through death. I'll see myself out. I know I haven't covered every single bit of music used in the film, but these are the ones I find especially interesting and significant. Thank you so much for watching my queer and neurodivergent self hyperfixating on the music of a film released 36 years ago for about half an hour, which is longer than the duration of total music used in the film, by the way. I'd like to leave you all with some honorable mentions of music used that I didn't know how to fit into my video essay. I'm Percy Chu, thank you for watching, and until next time.
That's for my ad book, okay? Could you give that back, please? Could you give that back?
You're in.
Get away from me, okay?
Spaz, why don't you check your pocket?
Brush my teeth. Get off.
Cut out that racket in there.
Give me, Neal, give that back. You're dreaming of poetry. I'm being chased by Walt Whitman. Okay. What are you guys doing? I'm sure you see the camera. Hey, Neal, give me. Don't be immature. Come on. I need. Give it to me.